Well, the Bears beat the Jets on Sunday. You would hope so, right? Sports Talk Chicago, here with Jon Zaghloul. In this video, we're going to break down the Bears-Jets game coming up on Sunday, give you a pick, and explain why I think the Bears may not win. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, set up notifications so you don't miss a thing. We talk Chicago Bears daily. We have daily streams. We also have interviews with former Bears players and special guests who cover the Chicago Bears. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Z Sports, Facebook Jon Zaghloul. Want to watch more of this show? Head on over to sportstalkchicago.com. I want to start today with this. It's a battle of the backup quarterbacks. Who's excited? This is going to be a mediocre game between the Bears and Jets on Sunday. At this point, we don't know if Justin Fields will play. We do know it's going to be Mike White for the Jets. We'll talk about him in a second. If Fields does not play, it's going to be one of the best backup quarterbacks in football, Trevor Siemian, to take the helm for the Bears. And while I have nothing against Trevor Siemian, I think he is a very competent quarterback. I love the signing, even. I'm a little bit worried about his ability to have any success with this Bears team. Think about it. Siemian is not mobile. Siemian doesn't move. He's a pocket passer. Well, that's okay. And it's actually given him some success in the NFL. Problem is, Bears have no line and no wide receivers. And literally nothing offensively. Even Khalil Herbert is still hurt. So no safety blanket for Siemian. First time starting with the Bears. New offense, new quarterback, new team. How do you think he's going to do, realistically? It's going to be a tough game for him. And as much as I'm rooting for him in general, Northwestern guy, Illinois guy, good player, in my opinion, very competent starter, and one of the best backups in football, the fact is it's going to be very tough for him to succeed in this environment on Sunday. I don't think it's worth the Bears playing Justin Fields. That's not a knock on Fields himself, but why even risk it? You're facing the Jets. You're obviously going nowhere, and in my opinion, the Bears are tanking. Trying to. So what's the point in playing Justin Fields when he may have a separated shoulder or something wrong with his shoulder? You're not going to get him at full effect. I saw a report saying if he does play, he'll get the full playbook. That's stupid, too. He can't protect himself. If he lands on that shoulder wrong, it's going to be hurt even more. He's going to be out for the year. You've got to be careful, especially if you're a quarterback and a running quarterback at that with a shoulder injury. The Bears should not play him on Sunday. Case closed. Don't know what's going to happen. We're going to have to find out, but my intuition, they're not stupid, and they are tanking. I would say they play Trevor Siemian. It's going to be White and Siemian for Fox's number 2 crew on Sunday. The Jets as a team are a bit of an anomaly. Great defense, bone-crushing defense, horrible offense. The running back got hurt earlier, and Zach Wilson right now is a bust. The Jets thought they were outsmarting everybody by picking Wilson at second overall. They passed up on Justin Fields. They passed up on other quarterbacks, and well, right now Zach Wilson is benched, and rightfully so. When you're moving the ball 2.9 inches per play last weekend, and then you come out at the end of the game and say, it's not my fault. I feel no responsibility for the offense and how bad it played. You deserve to be benched. You deserve to be cut. And if Zach Wilson was not on his rookie contract, if he was some veteran or a backup, career-long backup, and he said that, would have been cut. We got Justin Fields apologizing to players after throwing a pick with a separated shoulder. With 1:47 left to go last week, but we got Zach Wilson saying, no, it's not my fault for moving the ball 2.9 inches per play. It's about the size of your iPhone. 2.9 inches per play. On average. That's how far they moved. So he's out. He's not playing. Which, I think if he did play, the Bears would actually have more of an advantage. His mediocrity would show so much. And with the Bears' defense being somewhat a little bit better, I mean, they forced 2 takeaways yesterday. It felt like it could have been a decent matchup and probably a closer game. Mike White could be the same. We don't know which Mike White we're going to get. Last year, Mike White burst on the scene and did very good for a couple of games. Then he regressed. White came in last year, 953 yards in 4 games, a 67% completion percentage, but 5 touchdowns and 8 picks. White has had a couple of nice games. He's been productive, at least in his limited time with the team. And last year, had a game with 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 45 pass attempts. 82% of those passes were caught. He's proven to be accurate. He could throw the deep ball. He could throw 45 times in a game, which the Jets may have to do with no run game. This is going to be a challenge for the Bears, which is why I'm not going to be mad if they lose. I'm not going to be mad if Mike White tears them up, carves them up on defense. I'm expecting it to an extent. This defense for the Bears is obviously decimated. We talked about this all year long. After the trades of Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith specifically, it's gotten worse. You're facing up against something you don't know. You could prep on Mike White based on his film last year, but he had a couple of good games, a couple of bad games, and he hasn't played all year. You don't know what you're getting when you face off against the Jets and Mike White. You know their defense is great. So if you're starting Trevor Siemian, don't expect any offense from the Bears. Even Justin Fields is going to be a challenge. But you do know Mike White can throw a little bit. Maybe. He's shown a little bit of promise, more promise than Zach Wilson, in my opinion. You got to be ready for Mike White to throw the ball deep. You got to be ready for him to throw 40, maybe 45 times this game. Possibly. It's just a weird game to try and predict, a weird game to try and preview. You really don't know who's starting yet at quarterback for the Bears, although my money's on Trevor Siemian, and really it should be Trevor Siemian. It'd be stupid and reckless for the Bears to play Justin Fields in a meaningless game, in a meaningless season. And you've got a backup quarterback for the Jets who had some success last year for a little bit, then lost the job to Zach Wilson. Now he regains the job from Zach Wilson, who was benched. So much is going on here. We do know this, though. Out of all things, the Jets' defense is solid. Better than the Bears' defense. They obviously have a clear advantage there. Offensively, even though the Jets and Bears might be even, I give the slight edge to the Jets, too, only because the Bears' offense is facing the Jets' defense. It's going to be tough. This is not going to be an easy game for the Bears, offensively, no matter who's at quarterback. The Jets' defense is 9th in the NFL. Far cry from what the Bears did a couple of weeks ago against Detroit and even last week against Atlanta. 2 of the worst defenses. Now you're facing one of the best in the NFL. You really think the Bears are still going to put up 21, 24 points, especially if Fields is not playing, especially if it's going to be Siemian, an immobile quarterback trying to be fit into a mobile system against one of the best defenses in the NFL? This is not going to be a pretty game for the Bears, and it won't be a pretty game overall. It's going to be low scoring. It's going to be boring and mediocre. But at the end of the day, because I have no expectations for the Bears, because they seem to be tanking, or at least they're going to lose this game, they're going to fall in this one. My score prediction being 17-13. The Bears should play with the Jets. I don't think this is a situation where the Bears are going to be blown out. And really, they shouldn't be. If Fields doesn't play and they're blown out, different story. It's going to be tough to watch, but not disgraceful or even epic rant worthy. We expected that. But if Fields somehow plays and the Bears are blown out by 21 points, that's going to be tough. Really, against New York, against the Jets, with a backup quarterback in their own right and their rookie being benched, who is potentially a bust. If Fields plays, the Bears have to be competitive. And even if he doesn't play, I mean, we have to see something. I think I'm really giving them the benefit of the doubt here. I'm really thinking they're going to make it close, but who knows how it's going to go. I've seen so many people in the betting space just stay away from this game. Nobody wants to bet it, I understand. If you are going to bet, I would say take the under. Please. Because best case scenario, it's Mike White against Justin Fields, and Justin Fields is facing an elite defense. Worst case scenario, it's Mike White against Trevor Siemian. And oh yeah, Trevor Siemian is facing an elite defense. This is not going to be a pretty game. The more you think about it, the more it ruminates in your mind, you're like, oh boy. It's not going to be easy. And I'd be surprised even if the Bears score 13 points. That would be a victory. If they keep the game close, they lose 17-13 like my prediction, or 21-13, whatever it is. If they put up 2 touchdowns worth, or a touchdown and a couple of field goals, I think that's more than enough for them. Especially if you got a backup in first game, offense that's catered from a mobile quarterback, and you got one of the best defenses in the NFL staring you down every play. This is going to be a Bears loss, no question. If Fields was healthy, fully healthy, I would expect more. Maybe not a win, but a closer game. And if the Bears did win, I wouldn't be surprised. Here, I'm really not expecting much. If the Bears do win, that's great. I'll be happy, but I am not picking it, and I'm not expecting it. Not if you got your backup in, or not if Justin Fields plays and he's hurt, which would be stupid, but sure enough, it could happen. So either way, you have a liability at quarterback if you're the Bears. Really, I mean, it's either Justin Fields, who is hurt, or Trevor Siemian, who's never played in this system, who is a backup, and who is immobile. And you're facing one of the best defenses in football, so no matter what, the Bears' offense is already behind the 8 ball. The Bears' defense has regressed ever since the trades. They are facing a backup QB, and the Bears' key defensively is going to be force Mike White to be Mike White. We've said this so many times the past weeks, but it's because the Bears have faced middle of the road to mediocre quarterbacks. You could force a quarterback to be himself, and what himself is, 99% of the time, is turnover prone. They didn't do that to Mariota. They didn't do that to Jared Goff, and they may not even do it to Mike White. Now, that's a big reason why they've been losing. Force Mike White to be Mike White. Mike White is a backup. Do not let him take credit or make him look good in front of everybody on Sunday. Mike White is accurate to an extent. He is interception prone. He's a second-year guy just like Zach Wilson, and he's a backup. So he should not be throwing for 300 yards, having 45 pass attempts, completing 80% of his passes. That should not be happening. You can't get pissed about it, though. I mean, the Bears have traded away everybody, but still, I mean, that would not be a good showing. Just keep that in mind, too. So I'm picking Bears losing 17-13. Should be a barn burner. Should be very mediocre football that we're going to break down on Monday. And that's all I could say. You know, I saw a Twitter poll. People asked, if Justin Fields doesn't play, will you be watching the game? 40% of people said no. Justin Fields is turning into a figure that's bigger than this Bears team. And, of course, it's because the Bears suck. They have nobody else worth watching, really, on that team. They have a lot of issues. They're rebuilding. I get it. But I just found that stat funny. 40% of people said if Justin Fields does not play, they do not plan on watching. But then again, why would you? You're facing the Jets. To me, they're always the Jets, right? They could be 6-4. They could be smoke and mirrors. They could have a horrible quarterback. They're still the Jets. Don't give them more credit than they deserve. Both these New York teams are frauds. I'm telling you right now, the Giants are a fraud. The Bears should have won that game. This game, if everybody was healthy, if the Bears still had Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith, the Bears should win this game. But after these trades, Justin Fields being hurt, potentially, I'm not expecting much. But if we're talking talent, if we're talking everybody healthy, if we're talking the Bears week 1 versus today, before all these trades, I think the Bears should have won this game. I would have picked them to win, just like the Commanders and the Lions and really even the Falcons. Although I picked them to lose, they should have won that game. I know they're rebuilding. I know they're tanking. I get it. But I'm just saying this, and keep this in mind when we look back on this season at the end of the year. The Bears have been in pretty much every game they played. And a lot of these games they've given away. which is encouraging in one hand, but also discouraging in the other. The Bears need to learn and need to grow when it comes to executing games, closing games, and winning games. And learning process, new coach, new culture, new team, I get it. But just keep that in mind. Even in this game, I'm predicting a close loss. It's going to be close. This will not be a blowout, and if it is, it's going to be embarrassing for the Bears then. I think 17-13 is a fair prediction, fair score. The Bears should be in this, but I've been proven wrong before. It's a battle of the backup QBs. Who's watching? I wonder if Fox did a graphic and put out players for the Bears and Jets. Who would they put out? What, Mike White and maybe Justin Fields? If he may play or not? I think it's just kind of funny. We will see you on Sunday for a live stream. Make sure you come in and watch with us. But as for this game, just expect the worst. And I don't like saying that, but expect the worst. Expect mediocrity. Expect this to be a low-scoring game with two backup quarterbacks who are incompetent to an extent. Expect the Jets' defense to be the biggest reason why they win. And expect me not to really rant about this game because at the end of the day, if it's really going to be Trevor Siemian versus Mike White and this Jets defense versus this Bears offense, an offense that is not catered to Trevor Siemian, an offense that is predicated on a mobile quarterback, this is not going to be a pretty game. So I'm not going to be pissed if the Bears lose or if they fall even big at that point. It's going to be tough to watch, but what more could you expect at this juncture in the season with that potential quarterback in this offense against that defense? Not going to be easy, not going to be fun, but if the Bears pull it out, it'll be a nice surprise. And that's the moral of this entire season, it seems like. Maybe the Bears pull it out. Maybe they make it work, but I wouldn't bet on it. Expect that Jets defense to show up. And expect the battle of the backup QBs to probably end in the Jets' favor. Thanks for watching today's show. Really appreciate the time. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Z Sports, Facebook Jon Zaghloul. Want to watch more of this show? Head on over to sportstalkchicago.com. So long, everyone.